Welcome back to a brand new Let's Play Clash Royale video, guys. My name is Chief Pat. Today, we're going to be cracking open some of the chests that I've been saving up over the last couple of hours and days and getting some matches and hopefully knock our crown chest out. Now, first of all, let's open up these silver chests. We're going to get some gold as well as a bomber and a spear goblin, wrapping it up with an arrow, and a pretty standard for our silver chests. And also, since the last time I posted a video, I did play a little bit more on this account, so we unlocked 2 new cards, which I'm going to go over in just a second. But let's go ahead and check out this crown chest that I completed earlier. Alright, so it looks like we're going to get a couple of knights towards the end, as well as a goblin hut, which is a new card, like I was just saying before. Gold's going to be 21 inside of the free chest, 3 goblins, and then for our second free chest, we're going to get 21 gold, 2 gems, an archer, a spear goblin, and finally a regular goblin. Alright, so heading over to our deck, you can see we only got 2 upgrades so far inside of our battle deck, as well as the archer and spear goblin upgrade outside of our deck. But taking a look at the 2 new cards we unlocked, first of all, we have the Valkyrie. Now, the Valkyrie is a melee unit. She spins in a circle just like Clash of Clans and does AoE damage, and she's actually really tanky. But for me, even though she's super tanky, I feel like she's a worse version than the bomber. She's more expensive, doesn't have range, and let's go ahead and check out the goblin hut. So this is the first spawner building that we have inside of Clash Royale. So you place this building down, it'll keep spawning spear goblins throughout, I think, like 45 seconds to a minute. Really annoying card to deal with. If you don't deal with it, it's going to do like 400, 500 damage to your tower over its lifespan. And it's really good against certain strategies that I will show you guys later throughout this series. All right, so starting off, looking at what we can upgrade today, I think it would be pretty good to upgrade this bomber alongside our prince. Obviously, getting our prince to level 2 is pretty beast this early inside of the game. He's literally the only epic that we have. I also do want to show off this goblin hut to you guys. So this is the deck that I'm going to be rocking right now. So let's go ahead and find a battle. Like I said, we're trying to knock this crown tower out. Gonna take at least 4 battles, and let's go ahead and hop into our first one against the one and only. As far as our deck price goes, I don't think it's too expensive of a deck. Of course, we have the giant prince as well as the goblin hut, which are a little bit more expensive, and it looks like he's going to go down the left hand side. So I'm going to drop a prince to assassinate that bomber in the back. Notice how I didn't drop that prince in front of the giant. I had waited for the bomber to get into range, and then I dropped the prince afterwards. And now I'm going to make a push down the right hand side, as well as having my prince 1v1 his on the left. And of course, that extra level is going to help out a lot. Not only are my troops on the right going to do a bunch of damage, my prince is going to charge up and do all my damage to that left hand crown tower. First tower has gone down as my hut has been dropped, and you can see my little spear goblins go to work. So one by one, they're going to crawl out of this hut. The infographic for the card is actually pretty funny. It's like you don't want to see how spear goblins are made. Don't need to know, but they're going to do 30 damage at a time to that tower. So in response, he's going to drop that fireball. Okay, so I think he's pretty low on elixir, which means I'm just going to go ahead and drop my knight and my goblins. You might notice that my goblins make my knight run a little bit faster if you place them right behind them. And now a prince will follow up on the right-hand side and start smacking away on that tower. So 2 towers down already. Our prince doing a bunch of damage to his king tower. Really just a matter of time before we whittle him down. And let's go ahead and play defense starting on this right-hand side. Okay, so giant will help distract this P.E.K.K.A. or mini P.E.K.K.A. while it takes out my tower takes that mini P.E.K.K.A. out. Looks like on the left hand side I'm going to give up a tower. Not really too big of a deal. Honestly, shouldn't have even dropped my musketeer there. She's just going to get smacked by that prince as soon as he is done with that tower. So it looks like we're both pushing towards the king tower as my knight will clean up that prince towards the end of this battle. Okay, so 1 minute and 10 seconds left before overtime. Looks like the giant might get 1 punch off in the tower before he goes down. Sort of just resetting my elixir count right now. I really don't need to drop this goblin hut, but it's sort of fun to show it off anyways. Probably would have been better just saving up to end the game. Dropping a couple of goblins on this giant right here. They're going to tear him into pieces. Looks like he's going to drop his mini P.E.K.K.A. as well, which means I'm just going to push for the finish down the right hand side of the base. Okay, so bomber will do AoE damage. Looks like my prince is already cleaning up that tower over there though. GG to the one and only, and that's going to be a 3 crown victory, which is obviously what we're looking for when we're trying to get that crown chest. So far so good. We still are undefeated on this account if you guys are tracking. I'm sure we're going to lose sometime soon because obviously we're going to keep climbing trophies, and then eventually we'll run into someone 2 levels above us who might be pretty good at the game, and of course they'll be able to take me out. So let's see what happens and how long we can keep pushing going up against Assassin. Okay, so he's going to be pretty quick to drop that giant right there. Looks like it's going to start making its way down the lane, followed up with that mini P.E.K.K.A. But luckily for me, I was able to get a little bit of AoE damage right there to help out against those grouped up troops. Now, since he did get a decent amount of damage on my tower, I still have plenty of guys down the right-hand side, which means I'm going to counter push on the left-hand side. You guys don't always have to follow the troops that you have. You can always blaze a new trail down the other side of the base, or I guess battlefield. I'm too used to Clash of Clans term, and that's what I did right here, splitting apart my attack, going for the two-pronged approach, and that's going to end up for me getting about 2 towers from a single push. Okay, so far things are pretty excellent, which is about half HP. Don't need to worry about her too much. Looks like she's going to continue spawning some skeletons, and as seeing as I have a little bit of a break, going to drop my spear goblins as well as my bomber to take out that witch, and things are looking really good so far. And one of the cool things about these building huts is if you get your troops stuck on your side of the base, you can start getting an army of spear goblins like I am right now, and as soon as this giant goes down, they're going to start doing work, and as I say that, they get blasted by that fireball. Don't worry about that. Waiting for him to retaliate on the right-hand side, I'm going to drop my prince as soon as that knight goes down, and let's see how much elixir he has left to counter. Now that prince is going to make it all the way to his tower and start smacking away. Once a prince gets to the tower, especially this early in the game, it's just going to start doing a ridiculous amount of damage, and 910 HP left on the tower. Personally, I would like to take that out as soon as possible to try to get those that crown bonus from my crown chest. So let's see what happens as that mini P.E.K.K.A. runs towards the tower, and it isn't able to get a single hit off. Okay, so resetting with my hut, looks like he's going to make a push down the right-hand side. Bomber's going to do decent damage against this giant right here. Fireball will be pretty solid, but I think it actually missed my goblin hut. I didn't remember seeing it. Anyways, going to start pushing on both sides like I talked about earlier. Prince, goblins are going in. Looks like they are storming for the finish as his skeletons go down. Mini P.E.K.K.A. is going to try to help out as well. One more hit from that prince should kill him. He's going to turn to those archers, and this guy really doesn't want to give up that 3-crown victory. So my push down the right-hand side is starting to get big with all of those spear goblins that I talked about earlier. Looks like he's going to fireball that tower to get his first crown of the battle, but that will be it for this one, as the goblins, the bombers, and the giant ended up taking out his king. Alright, so 3 crowns again for this battle here, and our first magical chest inside of Clash Royale on Chief Pat 2. If you guys haven't started up the game yet, you usually get a magical chest within like the first 10 wins or something like that. So that's our first magical chest, and I'll definitely make sure to keep that unlocked as we go into the next episode. Now, looking at the bone pit, we did go up in arena, which means we're going to get skeletons, minions, the giant skeleton, a couple of other crazy things, as well as a couple of gems. But with going up in arenas, you actually get more cards out of the chest. So keep that in mind. Really good thing to know is that you don't really want to drop trophies too much in this game, because you obviously get more cards as you go up. You get more cards inside of your free chest. You get more cards inside of your crown chest. Really good to keep ranking up. And let's go ahead and take on C4. Alright, so he's got really well upgraded cards. That level 3 mini P.E.K.K.A. definitely isn't anything to mess with. It looks like his giant's going to drop right in front of that, which means I can go for a push on the other side. I don't have my goblins just yet, but he will have to deal with that giant, or it will be able to smack down that tower almost by himself. And at this point, it's right back into the hands of that 2-pronged approach that I was talking about earlier. And he's going to have a lot of struggles trying to deal with one of the sides. Now, he picked the giant, which, of course, I mean, it's hard to fault the guy. It's really hard to choose between a full HP giant or a half HP prince, but it ended up destroying his right side tower. And now my spear goblins as well as my knight will be able to destroy that prince right there. Okay, so it looks like he dropped a hut right in my face. Unfortunately, he probably didn't know that since his tower's down, I can drop my troops on his side of the map for that part. He drops a mini P.E.K.K.A. on the left-hand side. Being low on elixir, this is my time to strike with my prince. He's going to go in for the kill as he drops some arrows on his face. And I think this will be the victory as my arrows rain down on his king. So tough match for C4, really setting himself split in the beginning of the game, cost him that first tower. 3 crowns to none, and we are only 1 away from our crown chest, and this has actually been pretty quick. Always make sure to send a good game back to your opponent. No need to be bad-mannered or anything like that. One more match as we take on Ace, who is a fellow level 3, and let's see if we can take him out. Okay, so Tombstone in the back. We haven't unlocked the Tombstone just yet, but pretty much it continually spawns those little skeletons, and then as soon as it dies, it spawns maybe, I think, like 5 or 6 skeletons. So our Spear Goblin will be pretty good against the Tombstone, and they'll slowly make their way down the lane. They'll also be good against the minions as well, and it looks like this guy definitely has a builder deck. Now, I don't have a Fireball, which is really good against a deck like this, so this could be a little bit tough to deal with. He's got the Valkyrie right there. I'm going to go ahead and spawn my Musketeer and try to play a little bit of defense as he's building up an army. Okay, so Valkyrie didn't reach the tower like I talked about earlier. She is extremely slow. Making a push right now. That bomber is going to decimate that skeleton army. I'm going to drop some thumbs up right in his face, and that Tombstone in the back will not play a factor down that left-hand push too much, and now my Prince is going to go down the right-hand side. Okay, so my Musketeer's locked onto the tower. Minions, of course, cannot drop down to the ground to stop that Prince. First tower's gone down. Second tower will follow soon, and looks like that push down the left-hand side has been going pretty amazing. The Musketeer's actually going to lock on to that King Tower as well and start hacking away, get it to about 50% HP. I'm going to reset with a Spear Goblin, or I guess a Goblin Hut down the right-hand side. Goblins to back up and destroy this mini P.E.K.K.A, and he's really committed to these buildings. At this point, his buildings are out in the open, so they're obviously going to be pretty easy to deal with. Sort of just saving up my elixir, getting ready to strike, and he drops a laugh at me, seeing as he knows he's in a bit of trouble. Okay, so skeletons are going down. Bombers, of course, will counter that fairly easily. One of my favorite cards in the game right now, especially after the update. Looks like the arrows will be dropped on top of those 3 buildings that he has. Pretty solid trade, I would say, to use those 3 elixir to take out a decent amount of damage on or health on both of those buildings, as well as the King Tower. Giants going down the right-hand side, followed up with the Prince. This may be the push to win it as I make my way towards his King Tower. Mini P.E.K.K.A down the left-hand side. That means he concedes the battle. 4 straight 3 stars today, and that will be the next crown chest that we can open up right now. So good game to ace. Looks like our deck worked out pretty well today. Like I said, I will be opening up a clan extremely soon. I think that's going to be inside of the next episode. And yeah, let's open up that crown chest to wrap this one up. And inside of the next episode, we can definitely open up that magical chest. Okay, so 101 gold, 2 gems to start it off. We're also going to get a brand new card called the Skeleton, which I'll tell you guys more about later. 3 knights, 9 goblins, as well as a mini P.E.K.K.A, another brand new card to add to our arsenal. So the mini P.E.K.K.A and the skeletons, of course, the mini P.E.K.K.A does a crazy amount of damage. It is a little bit squishy, so you have to watch out for that. It's weak against skeletons, goblins, and stuff like that. But if you get it on a tower, man, it does a massive amount of damage. So it's pretty strong, just a little bit different version of the Prince. For the skeletons, they only cost 1 elixir. They are the cheapest card inside of the entire game. Really good at distracting stuff like the mini P.E.K.K.A, the Prince, a very good counter to those. So definitely something I could play around with my deck, and we'll see what we end up doing. So wrapping it up for this episode, let's upgrade 2 of our cards, starting off with our Knight up to level 4. He is an extremely versatile card. I definitely recommend him in almost every single deck, especially early in the game. Followed up with the Goblins, and that will do it for all of our gold. With only 15 left, don't really think there's too much else that we can upgrade. Now we're close to being level 4, only 29 XP away, so I'll start upgrading some of these chests going into the next episode, and hopefully we will have a bunch of shiny new toys inside of that magical chest to help us dominate inside of Arena 2. So yeah, that is going to wrap it up for this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any suggestions for decks that you want me to use, I'm all ears. I'm not crazy about winning every single match on this account. I'm totally down to experiment and try some new stuff. Just drop a comment in the comment section below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.